They're appropriate for your sweats.
Yeah, for sure.
They're better than the 6 rings.
And when you see these,
okay, I knew she was gonna be clean too. Yeah, I knew T Cloud was gonna be clean too.
How you doing?
What up, though? How you doing?
Cool as a fan. What's up?
Yeah.
All is good. I'm cool.
All is good.
I knew you was gonna be clean.
Listen, okay.
I talking about my shoes.
I know. Let me get my lace right.
I gotta put away these 401ks now.
I had to come right with
Just
y'all.
tuck mine in.
Hey, you know it'd be different for them though, dog. They get to walk down, it be dark in their little tunnel. They take the
I
picture.
said,
They got
put the
lighting.
lights on. Put them on. I'll be strutting my stuff down.
Oh, yeah. See, you see her walking to the game?
Yeah.
Walking slow. You know that ain't your regular
I
walk.
had to slow it down. I had to slow it down. Look, you know the Coos Fraba they used to say, Rev Run?
Yeah.
Coos Fraba push.
Man.
So 24 is legendary in our sport.
Come on, then.
I don't know who you repping though.
I'm repping Abercrombie and Fitch. Nah, that's all it is.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Trust, limitless. Take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant.
Natasha Cloud, man, welcome. Welcome to the Pivot. We've been trying to get this done a long time.
For a minute.
Thank
y'all for having me.
No, we are.
I appreciate what y'all do. Before we even start, I think it's really powerful to have black men that constantly speak up and talk about issues that not only plague our community, but especially for how y'all speak up for black women. Like, I truly appreciate it, because it's not always the case. It's sometimes taboo to put yourself out there, but y'all do it every day, and I appreciate that very much. I feel like I write you like at least once every few months. Like, I really appreciate y'all for talking about this. So yeah, thank y'all.
Nah, thank you so much. Channing Crowder, Freddie T, I'm RC, Pivot fam. Thank you for pivoting with us. And honestly, that was a great pivot.
Okay.
Right? Because you spoke about black women, and your voice, especially when sitting out in 2020, became one of the loudest voices, not only in the WNBA, but for the entire movement after George Floyd's murder. But for you, I want to ask, how did you develop that voice being raised, you're biracial, but by a white family?
Yeah.
So what was that dynamic like, and how did you learn to have your voice as a black woman, even though you weren't necessarily raised with a lot of black women?
It was definitely a crazy childhood, right? You know, I call myself a gray area kid because you were never white enough, you were never black enough. It was just like, you're somewhere in between, so you have to figure it out for yourself. It was hard for me when I was younger. I wouldn't change my background, my family, anything. I'm truly a product of my environment. You asked where my voice comes from and my confidence. I'm raised in a family full of very dominant, independent, outspoken women that are, you know, just as much a part of their household as their male counterpart. And so when you see that from the time that you're growing up, it really does just show you a way of moving about your everyday life. And I'm so thankful to my mom, even as a white queen, to be able to embed that in me moving forward. I feel like I really truly found my blackness when I went to Maryland. It was my first kind of taste of diversity. Before that, I was going to predominantly white schools. That was the best basketball, the best schooling, so that just made sense for me. But when I got to Maryland, I finally was like, okay, I can like really delve into my culture and like learn more about what it truly means to be a black woman, because I feel it. From the time that I was young, I always felt that I was different. I always felt like I was treated different by my white counterparts and my fans or my friends. I just didn't know why, right? We're innocent as kids, so you don't really understand that. And you kind of grow up in the world and you see how society treats you just because of the color of your skin, right? And for me, it was like, well, hold on, because I also understand my privilege of growing up in a white family. So now with my advocacy, everything that I had growing up, because of growing up in a white family, our community deserves. That should be given, like tenfold. So now the way that I approach it is, I very much grew up in a white household. I understand how sometimes ignorance and not necessarily walking this walk of life can blind you to what is actually happening. But if I ask you if you want to be black in America, you know the answer. So it's still there, but we have to have hard dialogues and conversations that aren't necessarily always black women or black communities or brown people's jobs to write, teach, and educate, but it also is a part of the process. So yeah, in my advocacy, I feel like that's what gives me my superpower is understanding a side that is still learning how to better be allies to us, but also understanding the side that I got of like being looked at as less than from being a woman, but add black to it, add gay to it, and now I'm seen as less than any other demographic. So just a lot of things intertwined, but I know who I am. I know who God intended me to be, and with this beautiful platform that we've all been given, like there's a responsibility to make sure our communities are safe and protected, and that we're doing our job with these cameras, right? They're constantly in our faces.
Right. And with those responsibilities, it seems that the WNBA is always at the forefront, a lot more than any other sport. You carry yourselves well, and you're always united.
Yes.
With that, your CBA is coming up, and that's a big fight in itself. Y'all ready?
Well, I've been ready. I've been ready years ago. I was ready to sit out. But like you said, we've always been at the forefront. That's been the blueprint since I came into the league. I was like, oh, we some badass women. When we feel something, speak it. When we don't like something, say it. So that's always kind of been us. But into this new CBA, yeah, you gonna give us our money and you gonna give us our money now, because we understand basic economics. Like you're talking to a league that we don't have leniency of like, we can't go one and done. You're gonna get a 4-year education, you're gonna have a degree, so we all understand basic economics. We're not asking for what our male counterparts are making, but we're absolutely asking for what our league is now driving revenue-wise. Yeah, you need to run us our money. You have to take care of the product on the court, because that is what makes your product overall better. So in this new CBA, no, we're fighting for more money, we're fighting for more rights, we're fighting for the next generation of women, right? So that they don't have to go through these same battles that we're going through today. Even little things like, people don't know, we don't even get nothing off our jersey sales.
Right.
Like, how is that even possible in a league where it's like, my shit is sold out, so why am I not receiving money for that?
Right.
And people don't, those are little minute details that people are like, oh, that should be automatically given, and it's like, no, we're still fighting for those little things.
Have you guys studied other leagues? Because the NFL had CBA some years ago, and I remember when you were a part of the Players Association, the Steelers stood up for everybody. Then you had a lot of other teams that would fold, a lot of other players that would fold, because quite honestly, they weren't educated, like they didn't understand what was at stake.
Yeah.
How do you make sure that everybody in your league is right there united, they understand what you're fighting for, you're on the same page, then you can have a better opportunity to go in there in negotiations so you can come out on top?
Absolutely, yeah. I think we do a really good job, first of all, with NECA. She does a really good job of leading our league, has since the time that I've come in. And when you have such a strong, educated woman that can articulate herself very well, but also be a little petty in it too. I love how NECA, she really just does the thing. Like, she gonna make you feel it when she says anything. So when you have that as the head, then when you have our executive committee, the rest of our union, our player reps, everything is so intertwined that we are so locked into okay, we can't play around this year. We played around with our last CBA. We did with what we thought was best at that time and what was given, but this is the time that we truly need to stand on it. And yes, we look around to other leagues, we ask, right, these relationships that we have with y'all, it's important. So I've gone to my NBA counterparts. I can do a better job at coming to my NFL counterparts, right, of understanding what are things that we should be asking for in this. But for us, it's like we've known what we've needed, and now it's really time to just stand on business. And when you're talking about getting a league full of women to be on the same page, it's like, okay, do you want to take less now and provide for your families, right? Or do you want to really put our money where our mouth is, sit out and make them pay us, and now you get to pay for your family tenfold for years to come, right? Yeah. Even things like pensions, we're trying to put, the W don't want to do it. We're gonna put it out there.
Crazy.
No, there needs to be protection of our families afterwards as well. That just is a huge part. I've played 10 years in this league at this point, and I hope that I have a few more years. I think I'm still a young gun, but for what I've given to this league, my family should be taken care of after I'm done playing.
Nah, T-Clark, you an OG, you old, don't? Listen, when you get 10,
you better stop trying to slap them young girls now. They're gonna grab you now.
Listen, my birthday was 2 weeks ago. I said, the age is getting a little too serious for me right now. I said, this is a lot,
You done had somebody hit you with the,
Okay,
I seen once or twice though.
Listen, where you seen it? What you seen? I'll be like, come on. I bring it. I love it. I'll be salivating. You come out of college, you ain't having a defender like me in college.
No, I got to talk about the young girls coming out because things are different. But first, you brought up 10 years because you were a vet. You were OG. Like Ryan just said.
You OG.
But it seems like in the last 2 or 3 years, we can go back to Lobo and Moore and Parker and like it was dog. Like I see you with a picture with the dog. You walking the dog like the dogs like that.
Yeah.
But why is the voice now? Why is the change now? What was the catalyst of the WNBA women's basketball becoming as vocal as it is and as impactful as it is now? Because now it's a national conversation.
Yeah.
We've been doing media a long time. It wasn't a national conversation 6-7 years ago.
If you want my honest answer, y'all just been asleep. We've been here. We've been doing this. So you bring up all those OGs, I learned from them. Yeah. I learned that this is the blueprint. You're talking about Maya Moore literally ended her career to fight for social justice. Like that is at the height of her career to be able, like, God is calling me to something greater. Like, how do you not look at it and be like, well, no, I can actually speak up on this issue. I could talk about these issues. The GOAT of our game just decided to end her career abruptly. So it's been the blueprint. The talent has been here. The voices have been here. The badass women have been here. The multi-dimensional women have been here. It's just that we haven't had the support. We haven't had the support, whether it's, support of women in general, women in sports in general, whether it's not wanting to support black women, because that's something that we've had to fight too, is like, man, I'm looking at the NWSL just expanding before our league even expands, and I'm like, we're way ahead. We're way ahead, but tell me what the demographic of our two leagues are and tell me why the investment isn't there. Yeah. Also, we have a lot of proud gay women in our league. We have both feminine, masculine, fluidity. Our league is so beautiful, but sometimes those biases that people are grown up to learn and have been taught just affect it. So now I think we're at a time of where we have worked our asses off. You have had amazing names like Asia Wilson and Breanna Stewart. I'm talking about my timeline now. But now you're adding in Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Rickea Jackson and Cam. You're just adding in. Yeah. All these parts are so important to make this thing go, right? So every piece has been important. I'm standing on the shoulders of the OGs that came before me. The young ones are now standing on our shoulders, and at some point, the younger ones will stand on their shoulders. It's the way that it goes, but everyone needs to take that responsibility of understanding, like, how serious I take this shit now, much more than the game of basketball, will make the world of a difference for young women's lives and for future generations to come. I don't lose sight of that.
What I love the fact is earlier, right, when Chan was saying you got your little ankles broke, I say Lil. Hey,
I mean, they might be a little skinny now.
Hey, no, listen, every time my daughter,
I can YouTube now.
Every time my daughter say something to me,
I gotta see it. I gotta see it.
Hey, my daughter text me like, Dad, I like your little suit today. I'm like, first off, I'm grown.
Well, no,
ain't nothing little. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
She don't want no puppy. She want baby.
Hey, but so like when you talked about when Chan was saying that, he was like, nah, like I'm salivating for that. Like I want that. You mentioned the demographic of the league, and it almost felt like marketers were trying to figure out, like, yeah, we have all of these amazing players and these amazing personalities, but can we push the demographic? And then when Caitlin Clark got to the league, the Angel Reeses got to the league, and they might have been fouled hard. The same thing I saw happen with Shamika Holdsclaw, though.
You see my tooth knocked out?
Yeah,
Rookie season, Jewel Lloyd. My tooth knocked out. I still didn't get it fixed.
So how do you?
It's cool.
T-Cloud, how do you feel about the fact that all of a sudden it was, oh, it's too physical. Oh, they're going at them because they're stars. What was your reaction to some of the new viewers and fans to the game thinking that the WNBA was too rough?
It was a crazy season because we have never had so much momentum behind our league, so much support, demand, viewership, all that, accessibility. But the craziness that came with the new fandom was rooted in something other than fandom, right? And I think that's very evident to see across the board. In a lot of ways, it has not been about basketball. Like, we can talk about, people getting fouled. I just showed you my tooth getting knocked out. Like, that's been a part of the game. The game has always been physical. I can tell you the amount of times I've left with bloody lips and eyes. I have bruises all over my body, even from the game last night. You can see bruises on my elbow from last night. Like, It's just a part of the game. So there was no targeting. There was no nothing. Right. That narrative that got spun into, oh, the vets hate the rookies hate the vets are going after certain players. It's all bullshit. Like, if I'm just gonna be frank, like, it's all bullshit. What it is racism, right? It gets blown up into, oh, they're going after Caitlin Clark, but no, we're just playing one of the best players that's in this league the way that any other best player, franchise player is gonna get played. Mm-hmm. Watch how Stewie gets played. Watch how Asia gets played. Watch how Enrique gets played. Watch how Khalid gets played. Go down the list of franchise players for every team. They be getting fucked up every game. It don't matter what position you are, what color you are, what school you came out of. This is how we feed our families. Our job is to go and win, and if we don't win, what happens? We get fired. We lose our jobs. So if you're telling me that the difference between me keeping my job is you in that basket, you're gonna have to go all the way through me. Yeah. You're gonna have to go through me. And if you going for a layup,
fired up, man.
I was just,
you're gonna have to earn them free throws the hard way.
I watched a show like this, the show we watching. I be watching this.
Hey, she got me so fired up over here though, dog.
I know, I was pissed. I was pissed we got knocked out last night.
So,
get me started.
Natasha, it gotta piss you off when they talk about women's basketball. They say it's an art. But the men, they love the dunks and the aggressive stuff and all that.
The aggression, the shit
Excuse
talking.
me, no, Channing. No, don't, just because you like T-Cloud, don't be in here acting like you don't be talking bad about women's basketball.
I was just gonna call myself out.
Oh, okay.
We like that. We just like accountability.
Okay.
T, I was just gonna call myself out. I enjoy the dunks. I enjoy the high flying, the things I can't do.
Okay.
I think Steph's so relatable, and he's the best shooter ever. But he's so relatable because other people think he can do what they do. I know I can't do what LeBron does, and I enjoy that. So for haters like me, if you want to call it, what would be your answer to me when I'm like, the game is beautiful and the passes, but once you cut baseline and you get the ball, now it's a layup. I don't get excited by that.
Who could have came the other night? BG dunked. There are women that are coming up and dunking, right? I get it. That's the exciting part of men's basketball, like the athleticism, the quickness to it, all that. But I sit and I can tell you, I watch men's basketball and I'm like, I'm seeing some shitty ass possessions. I'm seeing some shitty ass decision making. I'm seeing a man shoot over 3 or 4 defenders, which it's great when they make it. When you're talking about the game of basketball, like, is that it? Yeah. So yes, I do think that our league has an art to it. I think that we're taught fundamental basketball, yes. But to say that our league is not exciting, no, that's where I'll definitely push back. Our league has everything that the men's league has except for, right, the frequency, of dunking. Because you got college girls out here throwing down too. But our league is fast-paced, it's physical, we talk shit, we almost fight all the time. Like, people make...
Almost fight.
No, for real. Last night during our game, I was like, is there going to be a fight tonight? Like, shit, we're 1-2-3 Cancun after this, but, like, at least I want to go out with a win. But this shit is getting kind of crazy up in here.
And, okay, you brought it up.
Yeah.
You get mad very easily.
Ooh, I'm a crasher.
Why?
I love this game. I love this game.
Came off a pick, you went around, she jumped up, and now you want to fight, stop the game, technical fouls. Like, what? Take it easy, T.
I love this game. I love this game.
You don't gotta fight everybody, though.
What possession are you talking about? Okay, but let me tell you who I am for my team. That's who I have to be. I'm the dog. So there's never going to be softness on the team that I'm on, and that's going to start with me. So if that means that I got to come out and run through some people to get us to play that way, then that's what I'm going to do. If I got to crash out to get us fired up, like, I think sometimes people look at me and they're like, oh, she don't know what she's doing. If I get a technical, most of the time it's very intentional because we're not getting foul calls. So in the middle of a game when I feel like my franchise player isn't getting the foul call, I'm absolutely going to flex on the ref and get a technical because I want you to know that what is happening right now in the game, that shit's going to stop. You're going to start calling fouls for our team too, right? So it's intentional too, right? If I need to get our team fired up, I might take a hard foul. I might get into people and see if I can get a steal or maybe turn out to a foul. I'm going to get into people. Can I get into your head too? Can I talk that shit to get into your head? I love this game. I love this game. I love playing defense.
too.
Being the best player on
Hey,
the other team.
I love it too. Shit,
What?
like you
I'm
gotta
like-
come on more often. Bro.
Hey, she can be part of the Friday crew.
100%.
But I know who I am for my team. So like while other players are gonna be very even keeled, and I'm working on my water now, so I am calming myself down in my older years.
I want to go back a little bit because this guy's a hypocrite. First of all, he's a hypocrite.
That's how you knew he liked her though, because
Yeah,
the way her little bravado, because he was scared to put himself out there.
I was sneaking up to
Yeah,
the
you were
question.
scared to put yourself out there.
He was like, why you crash out? I love this shit. I love this shit.
Because he know you locked down. He knows that. He's just trying to get you rattled. And then he's talking about he likes the men game because he know they do stuff that he can't do. Look,
Still come on the court with me.
You
I'ma
women
get-
do stuff
What?
that he can't do.
That I can't
Still.
do too.
Chan is not an athlete. All of you are athletes. All of you do great. Your fundamentals, the whole thing.
We're supposed to be dogs.
I'm just saying. I'm keeping it real.
He did break his foot doing a toe touch 2 weeks ago.
My
Unathletic.
foot broke.
Unathletic move.
Yeah.
I know that bitch.
Yeah. But it saved us because he would have pulled up with some 6 rings.
Oh,
But now he got some
You see
nice.
that wheelchair?
Yeah.
That bitch hurt.
Oh no, you really got pushed in,
I'm
friend.
fucked up.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's out of there. But
I'm
no,
old. See, I'm 40.
So why you had the audacity to talk about my little ankles?
Because I watched the
My
clip.
little ankles, my
I watched
little
the
foot.
clip.
I gotta see this clip.
I'm gonna find it for the day. Because I was just looking at some stuff.
I'm like,
online,
RC,
and I
find
was
this
like,
clip for me. I need it. Ooh. If I ain't down, I'm back
he's a
in it.
troublemaker, that's all. Talking about defense and your mentality and being that dog and wanting to make sure you can be the mindset of your team. Go back to draft night. Went second round. I'm pretty sure that probably gave you a little motivation to, as your career carried, you probably pick and choose and say, nah, I owe a lot of people. Like y'all, all of y'all on my shit list. Going back to that night, did that actually fuel your fire to say, I'm gonna come in here and just be aggressive and just point everybody out and say, I'm here, this is what I'm bringing to the table?
I would say more so it was my freshman year after deciding to transfer. I went home, my family, my grandfather's sick, my sister was sick, so being 20 minutes away at St. Joe's, a mid-major, that was the best decision for my family at that time. Was it the best decision for me as a player? I don't know. But I knew that God will always provide by making the right decision. So being told that when I left by coaches that your WNBA dream will never become a reality, you're making the wrong decision, all that stuff, that's truly what fueled me through my entire tenure then at a mid-major. I'm gonna be in all the talks. We're gonna play against top 5, top 10 teams in the country with a small little Jesuit university from West Philadelphia, and we're gonna beat them. So I'm gonna have my name talked about. We're gonna play, and we're gonna be seen, and we're gonna do all this. Second round, I didn't even go to the draft. I just wanted to be with my family because I've been an underdog all my life. And I love that story because it's truly fueled me in every aspect of not only my career, but like who I am as an individual too. I'm a testament to my Philly roots. We just get it out the mud and that's what it is. So being picked the second round, 15th pick, I was like, y'all are gonna regret it. I'm gonna be one of the top point guards in this league. I'm right under 6 foot. I can pass the shit out of the ball. My scoring will come and I can defend. There's no two-way point guards in the time that I come into the league, right? And I still think I'm really one of the only few two-way point guards left in the league. So that underdog mentality has shaped every single aspect of my life, but definitely has fueled me into everyone that said I couldn't. I'm never out here trying to prove to other people who I am. I'm absolutely trying to prove to myself I'm exactly who the I said I am.
Philly, it just connected the dots too. Gilly,
I
you and
love
Gilly in one-on-one.
Man, first of all, I'm smoking his ass, but I want to meet Gilly. I haven't had the chance to
We
meet
can do
Gilly
that.
yet.
We can get that. We can make that happen.
I was trying to get him at the Super Bowl. I was like, but he running around with the big ass Eagles hat. I couldn't get shit. I was trying to get his attention, all that, but me, one-on-one, me.
Hey, Gilly, you heard that. We want to see
Gilly,
it on
I'm gonna
TV.
look right at the camera too when I say it. I'm saying it. I'll wear an Eagles jersey and everything with you.
But I love the Philly connection. I think it was 2019. You won the Dawn Staley Award. Now she is not only a friend of the show. Like that's one of our goats. Right?
That's one of my goats.
Sitting with her and getting an opportunity to talk to her, not only just her passion for the game of basketball, but her passion for the young women that she coached, the passion for people like you who continue to carry on the legacy that she was a huge part of building. What was the feeling of not only what it takes to win that award, but it being named after Dawn Staley and what that can mean to somebody who hooped in Philly coming up?
I mean, you're talking about, I watched Dawn growing up. I used to go to Temple games when she was coaching and still playing in the W. I've always been such a fan of Dawn and just like her swag. I don't know any other players that really were like allowed to walk around with their swag the way that Dawn has been allowed to walk with her swag. And then going into South Carolina and just seeing a strong Black woman just take the college basketball world by storm, you have to talk about her. In a space that is so predominantly white, they are talking about your name. They are edging your name. You are edging your name into history books, and you're doing it which I feel like is really rare, caring about your players. I think there is a business aspect to the college realm that can always be about wins and losses, but Dawn truly, like, it's not only about wins and losses with her, it's about preparing her players for life. It's about preparing her young players, whether they're white, Black, mixed, whatever, for the next process of what's coming in their lives. And I wrote Dawn probably, I think, 1.5 years ago at this point, and I was like, there is nothing more that I've been doing than watching you and how you go about, because you are passionate, you are fiery, but you are also very even-keeled. And like you said, while you crash out, I want to get to that water part. I know I have it in me, but like, I need an example. So Dawn has always been that example for me, but to win that award that is named after her for what she has done for the community, what she means to so many people that look like us, right? That's special to me. I can win championships in my career, I can do whatever accolades, but like to actually give back to my community and that to be felt, and that to be seen, that's the ultimate win for me, right? When I take and I retire and, you know, I look back at my career, like what true impact did I have on other people's lives? Not my own personal life and accolades and everything that makes our egos feel good and all that, but like, did I actually make change while I had that God-given platform to make change? Did I actually do that? And that award to me is me actually doing,
I love it.
Right? So that's very special to me.
Speaking of Dawn, too, as you talk about it, because I'm not gonna lie, one of the first gay women that I was around, that was kind of like, she
That's
rode
what
up in
it
a Range
is.
Rover. We were in the middle of South Carolina somewhere.
Right?
Chan, and you remember though, she came from watching court cases.
Yeah.
She was going to the court. No, she was going to the actual court and sitting in
Yes.
the back and watching murder trials.
Man, I love me a little murder case at nighttime. Yeah, a little Netflix. I know y'all love that shit too.
But like that walking, because you talked about like, it's 2025, but the strikes. I'm a woman, I'm Black, I'm gay. I'm like, when you said it earlier, I was like,
I'm still a God-fearing woman, even though I'm gay.
I was like,
that is
shit.
conversations that need to be had.
What was
And
Dawn?
she's that.
They say it coming out. I don't know if you had a coming out party or like you walked in like, what's up, bro? You good? Like it's normal
Yeah.
to what do they call us, progressive or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But was Dawn one of those people that made you be like,
it comfortable.
Yeah.
To be able to see her, whether she speaks about it or not, the way she carries herself allows us to know it's safe.
Yeah.
Right? So whether she's had a big moment, like I don't believe in big moments. Like I'm probably opposite of a lot of people. I don't believe like being gay is such a huge part of who I am in my lifestyle, but it's not all I am. Like I don't go about my life being like, hey, I'm gay as fuck, boy. Like I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna walk in like the word stud is very like harsh to me, so I like Poppy. I still have a lot of my like you
Miami
can see
Poppy,
it,
though.
even how I speak. I still have fluidity to me, femininity to me. It's a spectrum, and I love the spectrum because the spectrum is beautiful. But yes, for someone to walk around and not speak it, but just live it, and you can feel it, and you can just see how comfortable she is in her skin. Yeah. Man, I want to do that too. I want to be fly as shit on the sideline too.
I got a question though.
What?
T-Cloud, I got a question now, because we had this discussion.
Let's
right?
do it.
We said, like in this day and age, people don't shoot their shot in person no more.
What?
Right, so let's...
I hear shooters shoot. Okay.
and
So is he with the
no,
T-Cloud?
but no disrespect. Your lady is beautiful.
Well, thank you so much, Isabel Harrison, the finest
But did you?
So
did you-
T-Cloud,
full
did you-
government.
So T-Cloud, you was like, hey, look here,
Listen,
so
Let me
Talk to me.
Let me sit up a little bit.
Yeah, sure,
okay?
I'm ready
Don't let
to.
this goofy, gappy
Story
smile
time.
fool y'all.
Okay.
The charm is there.
Yeah.
Everyone just assumes I'm goofy, but no, it was very like, when I met Izzy, I was coming out probably like the worst part of my life. And you guys know from being in this realm, like, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, we have money, we have status, we have power in a lot of ways, we have swagger, and we go about it. Like, you're lit, you're gonna have fun when you're young, and I definitely was coming out of that. And I wasn't ready for her, but it was like when God found timing for us to meet, she stopped me in my tracks. And that for me was like huge, because I was in such a like, man, I'm young, I'm lit, I got money, I'm outside with it. And I met her and I was like, girl, I wanna be inside with you. So what we doing? But in her defense too, it's very new. We're very like, this is newly out for us because we had to make sure our foundation, y'all know it too, people wanna see, they don't wanna see you happy. They don't wanna see you thriving. Also like being very mindful of, I know I'm with a very beautiful woman, but I'm with a very beautiful straight woman that fell in love with me. And I think that's when like the argument of all those things can come in with like being gay and stuff, man. We wasn't looking for each other and we found each other and we fell in love. That's all I can tell y'all. And it is the most like beautiful, most calming sound thing to my career, to my life. Like feel like I have flourished since being with her because she has calmed every part of my life down. She has like focused me, directed me, and I know y'all know that from your homes too. When you have that support, you have that understanding, while also she a badass too in her own right, doing it on her own. So like I'm just very appreciative of our home. I'm appreciative of where we are, but I'm also appreciative of spaces that, right, like I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate being able to be myself. To be understood and just to be seen as Tasha without all that other shit like coming into play. Like y'all just get to know me.
You know, she know though, Tasha said she be pew pew no.
That's what
Okay,
I know.
right.
Though.
I shot my shot with Izzy. Let me tell you what I had to do.
Talk to
Right?
me.
what I
That's
want.
the way though.
So we was like working out, whatever, but we had known each other from the W, but not like, we haven't spoken. So she was on my team, I was the captain, whatever, like we're getting ice, and I was like, we just started talking about signs. And like, I'm not a big like zodiac person, but I am a double Pisces, which I feel like makes me super emotional, the fire part, right? So I was just like, Izzy, what's your sign, girl? She was like, a Libra. I was like, girl, it makes sense why you shot me down in your DMs then. And her jaw just dropped. She was like, I couldn't believe that you were like that bold. And I was like, yeah, I shot my shot, you matumbled it, but here I am again, so what's up? Like, here we go. It's different when I'm in your DMs because you don't get to feel me. Now that I'm in person, girl, here it is. The aura is amazing. Here we go, feel it. Trying to be on cloud 9, you feel me?
What'd you
Cloud
say
nine,
your
I
pickup-
like that, yeah.
What'd you say your pickup line was?
Oh, I got a bunch of them. Which one?
What you got?
Man, the one he says all the time.
Oh, hey, Sugarfoot.
No, the one.
Look at yourself.
Where he act like he don't know your name. Like you act like you know him.
That
What's the
one.
one you don't know my name?
He said he'll walk up and be like, you looking for, you say, wait, where Brenda?
Yeah, hey, you know Brenda? You know Brenda? Who's Brenda?
and then you get
Don't
a
worry
match.
about it. How you doing, Chandler?
Smooth into it. Yeah.
You don't have no
Yeah.
sense.
Okay, ain't no sense.
They can't say nothing but no.
They can't say nothing.
That's
What? You
it.
have to introduce yourself now.
Ask for 10 numbers. You gonna get at least 3.
What? Yeah, I'm past that day, but I feel
I know,
like,
I say back in the day, like you said.
But back in the day, yes.
Single,
I was a shooter shoe. What?
outside?
My feelings is not hurt by you saying
What'd
no
you say,
to
RC?
me. What?
Pew pew, I just told you, they can't say nothing but no. Nothing but no.
You can't say nothing but no.
Yeah.
And here we go, because I'm going to take the no and I'm going to keep it moving. I'm not going to get hurt by the no. I'm not going to get aggressive with the no. So let's just like keep it a buck. We respect women's no's.
Have a good one. Have a good one.
I had to.
Have a good one. You missed out. Have a good one. You
Oh,
missed
yeah,
out.
yeah, hit him with this here. Hey,
Yeah.
God bless though. Oh, hit him with that one.
You gonna
Stay
put
well,
it,
though.
Y'all gonna put the low. You can't put the low.
And stay well. And now I used to be like, shots for everybody in this bitch, because you gonna know I got money too. You just passed up the wrong one.
No, seriously, like as an adult, it might be easier to live in that truth, right?
Yeah.
And identify that. But going back, like when you first felt the gayness, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
what was it? That was awkward for you from
For
a
sure.
standpoint of
So
you know,
everyone-
trying to understand it all. Like they say you're male, you're female. Like, how was that growing up though?
So I'm still gonna tell you this now. Like I think everyone thinks that I was like, obviously when you see me now, you're like, this bitch been gay her whole life. Like, no. I actually didn't even try to mess with women until I was 23, 24.
Okay.
Like, it was later for me. So up until then, I was only with men. And I was like, something is not adding up here, because like, we're just clashing all the time. And then when I kind of got into the league and I felt more confident, you get away from your home and like being under your family, and you're learning what it means to be an adult on your own and to find yourself. And I feel like when I finally did that, I was just like, I've had these feelings for a long time that I could look at women being like, oh, she bad, or like, she's beautiful, she's fine. But I never wanted to act on them. But then I got to that place where I'm starting to feel more confident into who is this gray area kid? Well, now I'm figuring it out. And so then trying it out and feeling comfortable around the women that I was, because I hate when people are like, the W turns you gay. It doesn't, but you are surrounded by women that don't care what you do with your life or who you date or who you go to bed with. Like, you just walk in and you're supposed to show up to play, and they're gonna love you for being who you are. So that empowered me to just feel comfortable to do it. And then once I went over to the other end, I was like, I get it. I get why y'all like this. I get why the men, I get it. I like it here. So I think I would identify bi at first. I was still dibble-dabbling between the two and still trying to figure out what made sense for my life. Being scared of what society would treat me like as a gay Black woman, that was huge. I was told from the time that I was young, a house is a man and a woman, and you raise a family. And so when you envision that for your whole life, it's like, well, now, no, I'm envisioning this whole new world, but this one makes me happy.
Right.
The other one makes a lot of other people happy. It makes a lot of other people comfortable, but it doesn't like sit well with me completely. And I think the biggest struggle for me was my faith, if I'm being honest. Like, how do, right, the way that we were brought up to think, how do I maintain my relationship with God? And for what the church has told me my entire life is, now I'm living in sin and I'm gonna go to hell. And at 33, I can tell you, being very comfortable in my own skin now, I know my God, and my God loves me, and God is within me. I live my life with Him first and foremost. He is the driver's seat in everything that I do. I know what it means to have His favor in my life. I know what it means to be loved by Him. I know what it means to be at the worst point of my life and fall to my knees for Him to pick me up, right? And so all those things, our home, me and Izzy's home, we will be a Christian home. Our foundation will be in Jesus Christ. Like, that is what our kids will grow up learning. And they will learn that, yes, not everything looks how society will deem it to be, but there is beauty in different. There is beauty in our home. There is genuine love in this home, and no one will ever say that God is not within this home. And that's just us. And now I respect other people's spaces and decisions for their life. All that I ask in return all the time is just for the same to be reciprocated to me. I'm not gonna judge anyone based off of how they live their life, because it's not my life to live. Right. But how I live my life, I don't understand why people have so many issues when I don't bother y'all. Nothing that I do, nothing that my family has takes away from your family. That's the lie that they want you to believe. But we are here, there is love here, so if you want love, our family will always give love. But if you don't want to give love, I still respect it. I still love you, because that's what my God is. God is love. There is no hate in God. There is no bias in God. There is no, you are not good enough. There is no, you are living the wrong way, because we all sin. Mm-hmm. To be human is to be flawed. Right. And to be flawed is to be, right, living in sin in some way, shape, or form, but He died for those sins. He died so that we could still live our every single day lives, right? And so that was a really long and drawn out answer.
Perfect. I didn't go to church this morning.
Yeah.
I was supposed to. That was good enough for me.
All you gotta do,
perfect.
I think a lot of times too, I think going to the institution of church is amazing because community is amazing, but I want us to all be cognizant of like what those teachings in those churches are, because does it truly align with the teachings of God? Or has some way in this shape or form, has humanness started to intervene into our actual places of worship? But your relationship with God, you can sit and talk to God today, and He gonna still put favor in your life, and He's still gonna hear His son every day. So you don't have to go to the institution to do that. Your relationship with God is even a 10-minute conversation here. I said it today when I woke up. I thank you for this opportunity. I thank you for waking me up. I thank you for my girl being here. I thank you for everything that I have, right? And you're still gonna continue to challenge me. Just because I thank you doesn't mean that I'm not prepared to walk through the fire that comes with everything that you give me too.
Amen.
It was funny. I was gonna start the next thing with God is love. And that's I think
Period.
there's a long line of these letters after that sentence. God is love, so there's love there.
Yes.
God's there, and I think a lot of things are outdated. Like I said, progressive earlier, or whatever you call the people that do that. But even earlier you said like you're a black woman. You had to almost explain to a white family what it was like to be black. Like they understand you're darker than them.
Yes.
And then you had to explain to them that you're gay. Was it harder to explain to white folks how it is to be black or explain to straight folks how it is to be gay?
Black. Really? My family didn't even blink an eye. I really only told my mom. And the only reason I told my mom is just like, that's a relationship that me and my mama have. It's like, I want to be open and I want you to know who I am as your daughter. And so I never thought that she would judge me, but you always hear the horror stories. Yeah. That's the only person I told. The rest of my family, they were like, hi to my girlfriends, like welcoming to them. If they didn't like them, clearly they would tell me, but like, that's not based off of them being women. Talking to them about what it means to be black in America while being raised in a family, because how my family views it is they see me as Tosh, and because I'm Tosh, they love me. And I'm like, no, because that's a very like immature way of thinking, because that's what keeps you from understanding what I actually go through. In order to love me, you have to see me for my color. In order to love me, you have to see me for the color of my skin. You have to see me for being gay. And then you have to see how the world perceives those demographics of people. So when you walk out into your everyday life, you might not treat a black person differently because you grew up with me in your household and you love me, so you're more open to it. But when I walk out these doors, people treat me like shit. When I walk out these doors, Mom has a different fear of me getting into the car than you getting into the car. Her fear for y'all is that you might get into an accident or, you know, something bad. Her fear for me is that I'll get pulled over in a predominantly white area. I'm 16 with my learner's permit and my mom's like, let's have a conversation. And I'm like, what's this conversation about to be like? I won't drive fast, like, I won't have friends in the car, I won't drink and drive. Like, I'm thinking it's the normal conversation. She's like, no. We're gonna have a conversation about the area that we live in. We're gonna have a conversation about you're driving a nicer car. We're gonna have a conversation of you're probably gonna be pulled over because you're black. And for me, still at 16, I'm like, what the f? Like, why is this even a thing? She's like, they will see it as you're not supposed to be in this area. And lo and behold, how many times have I gotten pulled over in my middle class, Broomall, Pennsylvania, Delaware County, Pennsylvania area. I've been pulled over with my white niece in the car and the cops being like, are you okay? Do you need help? And here I am to crash out. The fuck she need help for? I'm taking her home to her fucking mama. The f I'm taking her home to my sister. What do you mean does she need help? I'm like, we need help. Leave me the f alone. Like, give me my ticket and let us go on. Like, I've been pulled over in DC, right, where I've had a cop come up to me at 2 a.m. after I'm leaving the gym shooting with his hand over his gun and that little buckle release talking about roll down all your windows. Sir, I'm a 24-year-old woman that is more scared of you than you should be of me. I have no one in the car. I live 2 minutes from here. All those things remain the same. So now when I'm telling my siblings, they're having oh shit moments. Like, now they're having fearful moments for me. Now they're understanding a little bit more of what it's like for me to go through my everyday life. But it's still a fight. I still have a sibling that voted for Trump because of economic and business reasons. And we have a lot of people within our own community that have made those decisions. But trying to get people to really just come back to like their humanness and their morals and their values of what it means to be a human. Would you want your mama treated like this? Would you want anyone in your family treated as such? The answer is no. So why would you then go about your day doing that shit to other people, right? So I don't know if that necessarily answers your question. Talking about being black has always been much harder because it's heated dialogues. I mean, it hasn't been fun. People will talk about, like, even with certain teammates, like, why are you not having, we do. I'm the one that is always clashing behind the scenes. I'm clashing with organizations about what do we stand for? Do we stand for the right shit on the side of history, or do we stand for lining our pockets with money because we don't want to ruffle too many feathers in a business that has a lot of pockets that look like that?
I did find it interesting, though, that even though you were saying those conversations about being black are more difficult, that's also because you have a large family of white individuals.
Yes.
But your mom knew, right? Like, I do find that interesting that your mom was able to sit you down at 16, maybe before you even knew it, and say, look, here is how you will be perceived and viewed outside of my love. And I want you to be prepared for that. How much did that conversation with her, conversations and explaining it to siblings and family members, help you when it came to things like 2020 where you said, no, I'm not finna go in this bubble, right? I feel like God is calling me to do something else. Yeah. How much did really advocating your entire life just for you help you to move forward in that?
It allowed me to be everything that I felt like I needed to be at that time for our community. Going into that bubble was, like, there's so many parts of activism, right? There's no one right way to do it. I'm loud. You might be quiet during your activism. It doesn't mean that less is more important or one is more important than the other. Going into that bubble was just as much important as the people that sat out. But for me, I just couldn't go in and not be on the front lines, not be in those conversations, not be in rooms that are deciding policies for our communities moving forward. Like, I wanted to be a part of that conversation. But when you talk about why am I so vocal, I am a product of my environment. I am a product of a bunch of strong, independent women, whether they're white or black. I was still taught to be a strong woman. Now I learned my blackness as I grew up, but also being told by my mama, like, I knew early how the world was gonna perceive me. I knew because I grew up in a white town too. So, like, all of that now, fast forwarding into 2020 and even now into my activism, I do feel like I have the ability to bring both sides together and be that middle ground, right? I know how frustrating it is to talk to our allies when they're not being allies, or when they're so blinded by their own privilege that they can't even see when something is just unfair or unjust. Or what I think a lot of the time is innate to just white people in general is, like, this ideology that if I give a little bit, then I lose, right? That selfishness of, like, if I give, then that means that my family loses. It doesn't. If I say this all the time, if you taking a little bit more of my taxes means that another family eats, I'm okay.
Right.
That means that another family's kid is covered when he's sick to go get some medical care. I'm okay with my money going to that shit. Now I'm not okay with where our money goes towards elsewhere, right? Like, I don't like where I'm seeing people lining their pockets elsewhere, but, like, yeah, I think it's just created kind of, I don't want to say superpower because I'm not a head ass. Like, people call me an activist and I'm like, I'm just a normal human being that speaks up when I see something wrong. I don't want the activist title. I just want, like, an active member of society. If I come in here and y'all start talking shit about a woman, I'm gonna be like, not too much.
Right.
Not too much. We're not letting, like, we're not gonna do it. And we're gonna have, like, real conversations. Everybody is capable of doing that. You don't need to be a celebrity or an athlete or have status or power to do that. It starts in your home. That starts in your schools. That starts in your workspace. That starts in your group chats. Like, if shit is sexist, racist, mean, I'm being funny, but if shit is mean, call it out. Like, it's as simple as that.
Does it ever get heavy for you?
Exhausting.
Because I am outspoken, right? Like, that's the reason we ever connected, right? Because I'm willing to say things and I'm willing to stand for things just because, and it's not even for me, it's not like, I don't have this feeling, if I say this, it helps. I have this feeling like, that shit's just wrong.
It's just wrong.
Right, and I want to speak up for it. But when you do that, you know what happens? Something happens in Mississippi to some little black boy and you get a DM or you get a text or you get a tweet and they say, hey, why you ain't talk about this? Or why you not doing this? And I had to get to the point where I was comfortable enough to say, hey, y'all, I can't talk about everything. I can't fight everything.
Okay.
You know, and there was guilt in that early on.
And I'm sure you
me.
still carry it at points.
You know, how have you dealt with that part of it? Like you said, I don't want the activism cap, right? I just want to speak up for what's right.
Yeah.
But people start to expect things from you once you become that.
I think people in general feel like they are entitled to access to athletes, period. When it does come to the advocacy, though, yes, it was a lot, because when I first started, I was really just fighting for the intersectionalities of what makes me me. So being gay, being black, being a woman, being all those things. And then from there, it's just like, well, why aren't you talking about this? Why aren't you talking about that? We have things in here. I'm like, bro, I'm barely keeping my head above water right now, because while y'all are forgetting that, yes, I'm talking about this publicly, I'm still affected by it personally. So all these issues that we are talking about, that we have the courage to speak out about, we still have to deal with the trauma that comes with them individually before we ever help people collectively. So especially during 2020, like, my mental space was so bad because all I was doing was working. People thought I was like just chilling at home. I was working 9 to 5. I was in meetings, panels, hard discussions, reliving vulnerable moments, talking about our trauma in the Black community, and then still being demanded to do more. And I'm like, there's only so much of myself that I can truly give, and that guilt that came with that. Of like, God has called me to do this, but am I enough? Am I actually truly, do I have his purpose for my life figured out? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Makes you think all types of like crazy shit, but going to therapy was huge for me. Being able to vent out my feelings, find validity in what I was feeling, but then solutions to deal with everything that I was dealing with. I think a lot of friends might tell you at 33, I'm really selfish. And I'm not selfish in a bad way. I'm selfish in a way of I cannot pour from a cup that is empty. So until my cup is full, I might isolate for a little bit, and you might not be able to get a hold of me, but that's okay, because that's what I need to refuel. And then when my cup is full, I'm here to give you everything that I got. I'm here to deplete it again once over, and then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna fill it so that I can keep giving the next day. But man, it has been such a hard process to figure out what works for me. To also be selfish has been really hard for me, because a lot of the work we do is selfless. So now, how do I be selfish when my community is asking me for help? But again, that thing of you truly can't pour from an empty cup. Even on planes, what do they say? Put your mask on first before ever helping anyone else. Right. That is really true, and that's okay. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to say, like, I'm not okay right now. But what was really important for me too was my tribe. I think that we have a lot of acquaintances in this world that we're in with professional athlete and whatever status you want to give us, but like your tribe is your few people that you can really depend on to hold you down, to hype you up, to also be your critic. I hate a yes man. I don't want nobody a yes man that's in my tribe, because no, I need to be held accountable too. So my tribe was really important for me during that time too, and it still really is. So yeah, it's not easy, but heavy is the head that wears the crown, and you gotta be able to wear that crown. My shoulders are big enough, but sometimes, I just gotta be able to like replenish my own battery, replenish my own cup, and to be able to give again.
I've been there.
You talk about tribe. The Unrivaled League, I think is a dope concept.
I love it.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Do you guys like, what will it do for you all in the brand of women's basketball, the WNBA? Like, how do you tie those leagues together?
Man, it's a protection of the W's investment first and foremost. Any league that keeps players here in the off season, and because before we used to go out into blackout periods for 8 months. We gotta go overseas. We gotta be able to offset that money in the off season for our families. So you go overseas, you play for 8 months, you come back for a W season. Fans don't get to engage with you. Right. You don't get to build your brand the way that you want to by having people stateside. So leagues like Unrivaled and Athletes Unlimited are a protection of your investment. You have players here stateside, adequate care, adequate training. They're still getting player development. They're still getting coached by all W players or WNBA caliber player development people. They get food, trainers, strength conditioning. You're living in Miami. Everything is like, we're spoiled, to be honest with you, right? But we're reaping the benefits of what we earned as well at the same time. So in this, it's gonna be really special because, again, that protection of investment, but also what it means to have all 36 main faces of the W here we can do podcasts, we can go do Fashion Week, we can go to the Miami Open.
Yeah.
We can really market this Unrivaled the way that we wanted to and build it into what we want it to be. Unrivaled is setting a precedent for women in sports by paying us what we deserve to be paid in the off season here for the first time ever. So the ability to not go overseas and beat my body up for a year, that's amazing. Also, the investment from companies, we've never seen it before. The amount of money that we were able to accumulate in such a short amount of time with people jumping on the women basketball bandwagon, I love it. You're here, finally, cool, we'll take it, but this is what we've needed the whole entire time. And then you're talking about the product on the actual floor. Man, we are competing. No, we are like, I was interested to see how everyone would come because it's still an off season. So you're like, are we gonna get everyone's like competitor or are we gonna get off season type feel like, oh, we're still gonna protect our bodies because the W is coming up? No. Like I felt like I was playing football. We ended last night, for real, I was like getting taken out. I'm falling like headfirst into the ground. There's concussions, there's bloody lips, there's blood everywhere. But you're going head to head every single night against the best 36 players in the W. And I'm a firm believer in iron sharpens iron. So from the point of like eliteness, I'm going against the best people every single night. So when it comes time for the W, oh, I'm coming at y'all next like I never left. I'm
See,
sorry.
can I ask you a question though? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know if it's the fact that y'all all just living here and it's so close, or that it's 3-on-3 or 1-on-1.
Yeah.
But y'all be talking to each other bad. Like it feels.
Crazy.
I don't
No,
know
we
if
be
we
talking
too
to each
close
other
or
crazy.
if it's too many mics. Cause y'all be talking about people can't check. Nafisa telling people it's my league.
What?
Like, what y'all? Like, what's happening? Y'all don't vibe? Like y'all ain't cool?
No, we actually really do fuck with each other. That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. Because what Unrivaled has done is, you know, we can play in the league and same thing. I might not know you if you on a different team. We'll know of each other, but we don't know each other on like an intimate level. It's just surfacey shit. So Unrivaled has allowed us to we see each other every day. We see each other at the gym. We see each other at the crib. We see each other walking our dogs. We see each other getting food. Shit get annoying too, so yeah, you're probably seeing some tensions right now. Like, we've been here 10 weeks, like, niggas is tired of each other. Like, so yeah, I do think tensions are like starting. But that's our innate competitors. Everyone came in like, no, there's a lot of money on the table to win. Not only are our contracts big, but the bonuses that we can win by the one-on-one play, or even to win the whole thing, you get an additional $50K each person.
Yeah.
Like, that's never been seen before in our league. In women's basketball, you're talking about after I won in 2019 the WNBA Championship, you know how much my bonus was? $2,500. That was before taxes. So that's what I'm bringing home from winning the championship.
Dinner.
Like,
They
what
said,
the
hey,
fuck?
go eat dinner tonight.
They did. I was like, damn, I can't even go to, I can't even go somewhere nice.
Hey,
No Nobu.
y'all couldn't get no table.
No Nobu.
Oh, you get a
They couldn't get a table.
What? I can't even get a section.
You know what I'm saying?
On a rookie contract too, I can't even get a section.
Everybody got to bust it down.
But no, it's just we're super competitive, and whether we're in the W or here at Unrivaled, like that shit talking is always there. That's what makes it fun for us. I love going. Ryan Howard, I mean, I hated it last night. She had the single game like record for 9 3-points made against us. But like, I'm coming down and we're having like 4 threes where I come down, I'm shooting one, she matches because I just made one on her head. Well, now I'm coming down, got my way, I'm shooting another one. I'm making it. Well, now she come down, now I'm like, I want to get to the basket on you. Like, But that's the type. I'm watching Fee and Angel go at it the other night. Angel picked her first. Fee came back, passed the ball out, tried to get established position. Angel pushed her. Well, here they go. Angel steals the ball, running down. Fee is looking to push her ass as she's running. I'm like, oh yeah, we getting into it. We getting into playoffs. Like, but this is just how it has always been. We're super competitive. So that's why when like people compare men to women, I don't want to be compared to y'all from an athletic standpoint. We know the makeup of our bodies. I'm the biggest competitor, the same as y'all.
Right.
My mindset as a competitor, my mentality of how I approach this game, how we prepare for seasons, the shit that we put our body through to lift, and the injuries that we play through of our career. I'm playing on a torn meniscus right now. Like, that's real. We all do it. So that's what I want people to respect us of, the mentality that we have, the mindsets that we have, the competitive nature that we have is all the same across the board. Now, you can talk about physics and all that stuff, and yeah, like, that's just...
It is what it is.
Like, that is what it is. But when you're talking about this up here, like, No, I played with Diana Taurasi. That woman, she hoop and prepares the same as Kobe did.
Wow.
She's a nutcase. And if you don't meet her standards, she's in your ass
What
the
was
same
it
as
like
Kobe.
playing with her?
Man, I was nervous when I signed to Phoenix. I'm like, we two alphas, so we either really gonna get along or we gonna clash. But DT is just like a pro's pro. She is the best at what she does. She's a dog. She's gonna talk shit. She's gonna get into people, and then she's gonna go put 40 on your head and back it up. Like, she just is, and to still do it at her age and the years. I mean, you're talking about 20, 21 years in the league. Like, I'm at 10 being like, dang.
You said that meniscus hurt you, right?
I'm walking up steps like, ooh, hold on. That was right. I'm gonna sit down, I'm like, ooh, all right, yeah.
So I would tell you this though, my introduction into women's basketball and truly seeing it at a high level was Simone Augustus.
Cold.
So her dad, so I was in college before I went to LSU.
The mid-range assassin.
He would bring her to the rec, and he would just stand on the side. But she would hoop with like all the college dudes, and she was better than all of us, like actual basketball player.
Yeah.
But hey, if she crossed you and got to the mid-range, count them.
No, that pool, it used to, this is who I'm having to guard when I'm a rookie, her and Maya. I'm like, what the f is this? Can I get an autograph after the game, matter of fact? But like, what is this? Like, y'all want me to go? But it was like the biggest welcome to the league moments was going against all those OGs, but Simone, cold. And I don't know why people still don't really be pledging her name and talking about her name, but that was one of the coldest hoopers that I had to go against head to head as a rookie. And like, you got it. She gonna put 30 on your head very easy and smooth.
No doubt about it.
And then she gonna go get a nice little drink after the game and not be worried about nothing. Like, that's just what it is.
Yep. She's a real life hooper. She coaching down at school now, but
LSU. You saw Kim hit the board out of her hand? What she did? She just, look at the clip. I'm gonna send you the clip. Kim hit that board out of her hand. She was pissed. Simone gonna be like this. I was like, I know you want to start this shit at the mother. I was like, I know you wanted that.
But you know somebody pissed off when they don't move their hands though, right? When they holding the imaginary board.
It was like that.
Yeah.
We gonna do this thing on the back end.
Hey, Tasha, this is. I think you're dope, first of all,
No,
and this has
for
been
real.
great. Yeah,
I appreciate the
This has
vibe.
been great. We always ask our guests what their biggest pivot in life has been. Like, it's that one moment you can look back on and say, with or without this moment happening, I wouldn't be who I am today.
If you want me to be honest, I think we've touched on my family, but we really haven't touched on my sperm donor. And I think when you talk about growing up in a white family, I haven't talked about my dad. Isabel Cloud is the best man that God could have placed in my life for a father. I hold his name, I hold it very proudly. I don't know if y'all know, like, for a man, I mean, y'all do know, for a man to step up for a kid that's not his.
Yep.
Says
a lot about it.
A black kid that's not his.
Yeah.
Man, and then to go through your life being like, well, where did y'all get her? Because these are real life questions that my parents got. Because as much as like, I think that racism can happen to our community, I watched my parents face a lot of racism too. From my community that looked at them like, you shouldn't be raising a black girl or a mixed girl. So I think the situation that has truly just made me into who I am today is my sperm donor. You wanted to lay down, you wanted to do your due, but you didn't want to take responsibility of your child. And I'm so glad of that, because your decision as a sperm donor, as a black man, was to not take responsibility so that another man that was better than you, that was perfect for me, stepped up. And I think my whole entire life, because of that, who I am as a person, who I am as an advocate, who I am at like my core is just because of my family. And so when you're talking about, as much as I will get on my family about their bullshit, the same as we all will, and we'll have real life conversations, and I'll call them out about their shit, I wouldn't want to be in any other family. They love me bad, down bad, like down bad, even with all of our shit. Even the sister that voted for Trump, if you say anything about me, she coming for you first. I don't have to say shit. Like, she gonna throw hands. Her little white ass gonna go crazy and throw hands. Like, that's just what it is. But I think the moment that really just set my life up for me to be who I am was that situation. And what a strong woman my mother is to then still have me and raise a mixed kid, even though everyone in her life told her no because of how hard it would be for her to raise a mixed woman. or a mixed baby, she still did it. So when you're talking about like how strong I am as a woman is how strong my parents were for me to give me life, to raise me, to love me as they did their other children, right? For my siblings to love me as if we were all, you couldn't tell us we wasn't blood. You can't tell me we not blood. We might look different, but it's my family. I love them through and through. I give this game up. I give my life for them tomorrow. They would do the same thing for me. But who I am is everything stemmed from that situation. Even trying to find myself as a gray area kid, I couldn't find my blackness because you weren't there, right? I can't find who I truly am until I go off into the world. And my parents did the best to do it for me. I don't talk about my situation often because I want to protect my mom. I want her to be seen as anything other than the amazing woman that she was. I made a human mistake and then took the responsibility afterwards. And I want my dad to be seen as the amazing man that raised a black woman to the best of their ability and gave me everything that I needed to be successful. My dad worked 2 jobs to keep a roof over our head as a white man. I still know the value of a dollar. I still know how to treat people because of how I was raised. And the older that you get in this world, you realize how rare morals and values are and how people carry that into their world. And so when you talk about who I am, those 2 amazing white people truly gave me the best life that I could have had. Then from there, they gave me every opportunity to figure out who I was. They support me. You're talking about, my dad is 82. My mom is late 60s, early 70s, and they're the most liberal people that might not understand my walk of life, but because I am their child, they always make a fighting choice to understand. They will go toe to toe for me. They applaud my advocacy. My mom cries because she's scared of me all the time, but she knows this is what I'm supposed to do. So like my household, my family, as much as like there's been some shit, it's been such a beautiful, beautiful life that I've been given and provided through them.
I don't often correct.
I don't really like crying either. I'm still a thug and I'll still fight out here.
You're not really a thug. Like they gonna think you soft when you come out.
You need
I would.
Man, you got me, Todd.
I want to correct you though.
No, I was like, don't do it. I feel like I'm getting
You
through
want to try to
it.
cross her
I do
over
wanna
now,
correct
your
you.
chance.
I want to correct you.
Yeah.
No, that's beautiful.
Your mother, she did not make a mistake.
Yeah.
Your mother made a decision.
Yeah.
And what she did was take responsibility.
Absolutely.
And I think it's a beautiful thing because we are a product and a sum of our experiences.
Yeah.
You know, and I know you don't talk about it, but it took all of those things to make you. It took a sperm donor. Mm-hmm. It took Mr. Cloud saying, you know what, I don't care what color she is, but I love this woman. And because I love this woman, I'm gonna love this baby.
Man.
And I think for you, like you say, I know you don't want to talk about it, and it's hard sometimes because it's not just your story. Mm-hmm. It's your mother's story.
It's my dad's story.
It's your dad's story.
Yeah.
But that's a story of so many people, the same way your story of being, you know, a black gay woman,
Yep.
that's part of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's such an inspiration to so many people, man. So be proud of where the journey got you.
Man,
And because, like, I'm gonna say this, you know, WNBA champion, you know, decade in the league, absolute dog, fashionista.
Okay, thank you.
As well,
I like the big
activist.
stuff.
And
on a budget too.
Hey.
We like getting frugal over here.
and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this.
Abercrombie and Fitch, okay?
And we don't do this. We do not do this because we do not tell lies on this show. But honestly, one of my favorite sit-downs we've ever done.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I'm so glad we finally got an opportunity to get
No, truly, we've been wanting to do this for a minute, and it wasn't only like our relationship, but like also the power that's held here by what I said is like really strong black men that are willing to be vulnerable, are willing to have tough conversations, are willing to check each other, right? Yeah. And to also just have different conversations that are used to being had. Like, I'm sure y'all didn't plan to sit up here and talk about like a gay woman and how she pulled her woman. Like, I'm sure y'all didn't expect that on the cards today, but like, I appreciate being able to have that conversation.
That's the beauty of the show. It's your truth.
Yeah.
You're the guest. It's your story.
But the safety to be able to speak my truth, that is like, I want y'all to own your power in that too, because it makes a difference of whether this space feels safe to do that or not. Like, y'all just have me boo-hooing and shit, so thank you.
I'm gonna tell everybody. I'm gonna be like, man, T Cloud soft as hell.
I'll be like, I gave Ryan what he wanted. I made good TV.
I'm gonna go to the game. I'm gonna go to the game. I'm gonna be like, go at her. Hey, Shane, we should go sit on the side, be like, go at her, she gonna cry. Hey, we gonna be like, she gonna cry.
Yeah, she gonna be like, guess who boo-hooed on the latest episode?
100%.
She gonna jump up on something like, she ain't no goddamn body.
I'm ready to tell you, Alicia gonna put that. That's gonna be the first thing on the promo. Hey, that's gonna be the first thing on the promo.
I just want you to know, as soon as I started crying, I was like, now I'm sweating. Like, what the
I was watching you, I was like, don't do it.
I know,
and then
I knew it was coming.
I could feel my voice shifting, and I was like, it's not the lack of voice. It's not.
This one's different.
I was like, this one's different. My voice is cracking.
People like, don't throw up, because if you throw up, I'm gonna throw up. I was watching, I was like, no.
The same
You
thing.
always the first one to cry when the guest cry.
When I see somebody cry,
but you started welling up, and it made me well up, because I was like, I am talking about emotional shit.
He always the first one. No matter who cried, Shane gonna cry with him every time.
I was
I
like,
be feeling it, and everybody be quiet.
I had to stop looking at you. I had to look to y'all for like, stop crying. I was like, I need to
Hey,
stop.
see, here's the worst part too. If you start crying, we ain't gonna say nothing. So we just let you sit there.
No, I was like, all right, let me look back at them because they're giving me like, you don't need to cry about it. I looked at you and I was like, bitch, cry. Bitch, cry. Bitch, you better cry. I was like, damn.
I got chewed out by him one time. He was like, let it go.
Let him go. Because Fred always be trying to help him. I was like, man, they gotta get it out.
Trying to talk to him. He be like, and I learned my lesson. Let it go. That's your moment.
Yeah, when they
don't get through.
Hey, you know what it was though? It's because you mixed too. That's why.
That's why. Well,
Take it out.
Hey, because you mixed too.
The amount of times that they would ask my mom, where did you get her from? Or, oh, she actually speaks really well. And I started to be like, what the fuck? My mom would be like, Tasha, and I'd be like, Mama, it's a backhand compliment to you and to me.
Yeah.
Don't expect.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's funny. You got me early on when, like, you were the acceptable black person, and that's what I
was
became.
everyone's exception.
With athletes, they were like, and you see people walk in and they see me and they're like, and they be like, no, he's real good at football. He's real good at football. And I'm like, damn,
I don't want
a good kid. I got straight A's.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to be known as the good, right? The good kid.
Like, you the good kid.
Like, you the good kid.
No, you're okay. You're
yeah,
fine.
like he one of the good ones.
My mom walks in the parent-teacher conference or a game,
everyone's like,
and they're like, hey, I'm Channing's mom.
You're who?
Channing Crowley. Little bitty white woman. And it's kind of like, it's so uncomfortable. And they're like, that's your mom, bro?
Yep.
Yeah, that's my mom.
People used to be like, oh, you look like your mama, and I make people uncomfortable. You just say that because I'm black. You'd be like, oh my gosh. Now that I'm older, I'm like, I do, but y'all didn't mean it back then.
It was fun. That's what, so like we were saying, okay.
Oh, my bad.
When you were saying like the biracial shit, like it got something, and then you started, I
was like, oh my God. I was like, and not me fucking my concealer.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, got a pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On this vision, I can trust. Limitless. Take a stomach, got a pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up.